As you may know, the alternate history community is in an ongoing civil war, explained in detail by Videntis on his YouTube channel. Originally, I just responded to Josh's video with a brief comment and wasn't going to make a video on it. The reason for that is that I'm publicly subscribed to both Possible History and Josh. This is between both of them, and I didn't want to take any sides and get myself involved. This time, it's a bit different, as Josh released yet another video, which isn't targeted at Possible History directly, although he gets mentioned. There is something that I wanted to share since the first video made by Josh, and it's regarding the topic of junk history. Josh claims that the YouTuber should put alternate history first and then YouTube quote and profit. He also compared Possible History's videos to McDonald's, where they're fast and cheap to produce, but not good for the customer. I want to explore 3 problems that I have and things that I just want to get off my chest. The first point is about my problem with realistic alternate history videos. Second, I raise the question what even is an actual history. And finally, I want to give you my take on junk history and why it isn't as bad as Josh claims it is. This is where I want to come in and defend my style of making videos. If you don't regularly watch me, I would say that my videos are not realistic and shouldn't be taken too seriously. They have some truth to them, explaining the history behind the scenario and logically going into the alternate history part, but they are not realistic. This is because I prioritize making interesting videos rather than realistic ones. For example, I got a suggestion on making a video about what if the Turkish War of Independence was more successful and Turkey managed to get Syria, Lebanon and Iraq. My response was that while this was a cool idea, it would make for a very boring video. Now I can explain the Turkish War of Independence and the First World War, pick a point of divergence and then explain what would change in the world. The thing is that nothing too interesting would happen, since the Second World War would still go the same way, and Turkey will most likely be neutral, so nothing changes. The Cold War doesn't change too much, and maybe even Turkey decolonizes, merging this alternate history and our reality. Now, what I just explained to you is how a realistic alternate history scenario would go. In general, I would say that they are pretty boring, but realistic. The reason for that is that when you go the realistic path, you cannot do anything too dramatic and have the video be interesting. In fact, the format for realistic alternate history videos is 80% exploring the actual history prior to the topic of the video, and then the rest is the actual alternate history. With the percentages being the way they are, these videos are more like history videos with alternate history part on the end, not full-blown alternate history scenarios. There's my problem with realistic videos, they're just boring to me, and I'm not alone. I have gathered a community on my channel where we don't prioritize realistic videos, but we want to have fun, silly and interesting scenarios, such as Pablo Escobar becoming president of Colombia, or San Marino forming Italy, or Monaco forming France. If I was 100% realistic, these videos would be impossible, which leads me to my next point. Realistic alternate history doesn't give you too much freedom, and I see it as a big constraint. Let me explain. If Possible History and Josh were to make a video on the same topic, and they were 100% realistic, all the events in both videos would be exactly the same. Again, we can use my example with the Turkish War of Independence. The only difference would be the visuals, voiceover, editing, maps, but still, in terms of history, they would be identical. I think that if 2 creators, no matter what, make a realistic video on the same topic, they will have the same point of divergence and outcome. To me, this is really boring, and in this world, when a creator makes a video on any topic, all the realistic alternate history YouTubers cannot make a video on it since they cannot add something. Me and Possible History, for example, had a video on the same topic. What if appeasement had continued, or what if it never ended? We both tried to be semi-realistic and we got some really similar result. 60 to 70% of our videos are just identical, but I ended up liking more what he came up with rather than my own video. To summarize this section, to me, realistic alternate history is boring and very repetitive. Josh claims that entertaining alternate history is dangerous, simply because it ignores the reality and shapes the world to fit the scenario, not the other way around. With this one, I agree, but I don't think that it's too dangerous and that it will change the viewer's perspective on any historical events. To start off with the obvious, I don't think that anyone should be seriously learning history through alternate history. There are many great actual history channels who do a better job than we, the alternate history creators, can ever dream of achieving. I try to make my videos educational, where you can also learn a bit from them as well. Just because my scenarios end up being unrealistic doesn't mean that I don't teach the actual history behind it. When I say the actual history, I mean the version of history that we all have agreed to. History always changes to fit the political narrative. For example, in my home country of Bulgaria, the Bulgarians were historically under Ottoman rule for close to 500 years. This time used to be referred to as Ottoman slavery. Now, the politicians are trying to remove this term since Bulgaria is in NATO, allied with Turkey. Now, they are trying to call it Ottoman coexistence. Who is right and who is wrong here? No matter which word I use, there is bound to be someone mad that I didn't use the actual history, so why bother? Even if I craft the most perfect realistic scenario, there is always going to be that one guy who will disagree, requesting sources and doubting my research. So, if history always changes to fit the political narrative, how can we keep track of it, and should we even bother to? I can make a video that is realistic at the time of making, but due to global events shifting, it can become unrealistic within years, due to the actual history changing. As for the profits over actual history, I don't think that this is the case. I think that me, Possible History, and many other creators share the same view on this issue. We like making history videos, but we wouldn't do it for free. For us, I think that history comes in first place. Or I can at least speak for myself, that is. What you need to understand is that we're all grown men who have bills to pay. We're not doing it for the money, but we would like to get paid doing what we love, which is making history videos. I think that what I just said is the best way to put it, so I'll leave this message on the screen for a couple of seconds. Just let that sink in. As for prioritizing subscribers over actual history, my response is why not? As I already said, actual history has so many different meanings that nobody can agree on. So why would anyone try to make actual history and still get hate for it, instead of growing their audience, getting more money, which can be reinvested into making better videos and etc. In his video, Josh claims that alternate history that is too much altered stops being history and should be called artificial history or fiction. I want to say that nobody is God, so no one can say for certain which history is right and which is wrong. Claiming that someone makes fake historical videos, especially when they have a large audience, is not the right way to go, I think. Many people have said that alternate history is supposed to be entertaining and fun, not meant to be taken too seriously. My videos would be considered junk history by Josh, where he would compare them to McDonald's, cheap and mass-produced. Even if this is true, guess what? Many people love McDonald's worldwide. So why would anyone criticize me over this? I can make my own videos and the people who want to have fun can watch them. Other creators can make realistic videos and the people who love that would watch it. Why should we make the two branches of alternate history merge? Why not embrace what makes us different and unique? In the video that Videntis made on the topic, he said that nobody is perfect and nobody is a steakhouse of alternate history, which I agree with. As I said in the comment on the first video of Josh, let me read out for you what I publicly said 2 weeks ago, as it just shows my position on the matter. Regarding junk history, if you don't like Possible History's channel, then you will for sure hate my own, as I make even less realistic scenarios. My twist on history is just to make cool scenarios, like Napoleon III betting the entire nation of France on a casino game in Monaco and losing, resulting in Monaco annexing all of France. If to you this is cheap garbage, so be it. I really like what I do and I have gained a substantial following doing so. There is a large portion of the history community that is not so interested in 100% realistic alternate history. People just want to have fun. My position on that hasn't changed, and let it be known that if I'm considered making garbage history, there is currently 7,600 people enjoying that. If Possible History is making garbage history, there is 132,000 people enjoying that. No need to be a party pooper and ruin this branch of alternate history for so many people. There are a lot of casual viewers who just want to relax, learn a bit of history and theorize on their own on one of my videos. Not everyone who watches alternate history is looking for the 100% realistic option. I'll even say that the people looking for that are around 20% total of the whole history community. I want to support the message of Videntis that we're all alternate history YouTubers. We have our differences, but this shouldn't stop us. We should support each other and help smaller creators grow, not fight and destroy us from within. There are not a lot of alternate history creators out there, so I want to contribute to making it easier for other people to get started. If we raise the bar of entry too high, requesting everyone to make 100% realistic videos and cite sources, then we would miss on many what could have been alternate history creators. Let us all create the type of videos we love. Let us all watch the type of videos that we love. Peace.